Hello everyone, welcome to our channel. Today, we're going to show you how to create a partition on Windows 11. This can be really useful for organizing your files and optimizing your system's performance. So, let's dive right in. By creating separate partitions, you can better organize your files. For example, you can have one partition for your operating system and programs, and another for your personal files like documents, photos, and videos. If you want to run multiple operating systems on the same computer, example, Windows and Linux, you'll need to create separate partitions for each one. You can use partitions to limit access to certain areas of your computer. For instance, you can create a separate partition for sensitive data and encrypt it. As you can see, I have only one partition, the C drive. Let us now create a separate partition. First, we need to open Disk Management. Here, you'll see a list of all the drives connected to your computer. Select the drive where you want to create the partition. Be careful to choose the right one to avoid any data loss. Next, right-click on the drive and choose Shrink Volume from the context menu. Now, enter the amount of space you want to allocate to the new partition in the Enter the amount of space to shrink in megabytes field. Remember, 1 gigabyte equals 1024 megabytes. For example, here I want to shrink the volume by 50 gigabytes, so open a calculator and multiply 50 by 1024. Once you've specified the size, click on the Shrink button. This will create an unallocated space, which we'll use for the new partition. Now, you'll see the unallocated space. Right-click on it and select New Simple Volume from the context menu. Follow the new Simple Volume wizard to format the partition with your preferred settings. You can choose the file system, assign a drive letter, and name the partition. You can also enable file and folder compression if you want. And there you have it. You've successfully created a new partition on Windows 11. This can be a great way to keep your files organized and improve your system's performance. If you decide to delete the partition, this is how you can do it. Deleting a partition on Windows 11 is a straightforward process. However, please note that deleting a partition will result in the loss of all data stored on it. Therefore, it's crucial to back up any important data before proceeding. In Disk Management, you'll see a list of all the drives and partitions on your computer. Locate the partition you want to delete. Right-click on the partition, then from the context menu, select Delete Volume. A warning message will appear, notifying you that all data on the partition will be lost. Make sure you've backed up any important data, and then click Yes to proceed. After confirming, the partition will be deleted, and you'll now have unallocated space on your disk. You can use the unallocated space to either extend an existing partition or create a new one. To extend an existing partition, right-click on it, select Extend Volume, and follow the on-screen instructions. As you can see, the unallocated space has now gone back to the C drive. Let us now look at how you can partition a hard drive using a third-party tool, which is much easier. I will use ESUS Partition Master in this tutorial. If you want to try it out, there is a link in the video description. Using ESUS Partition Master, a popular third-party partition management tool, you can easily create a new partition on Windows. In the main window, you'll see a list of all your drives. Select the drive from which you want to create a partition. Find the Resize Stroke Move option in the right toolbar at the top. After clicking on it, a window will appear with a graphical representation of the selected drive. Drag the slider to adjust the partition size. I want to create a 100 GB partition. After resizing the drive, you'll have unallocated space. Click on OK, then Apply to apply the changes. Select the unallocated space, then click on Create on the right toolbar. In the Create Partition window, you can set the file system, drive letter, label, and cluster size. Adjust these settings according to your preferences. Once you've set the parameters, click OK. Click the Execute Operation button at the bottom right. A window will pop up asking you to confirm the changes. Click Apply to proceed. ESUS Partition Master will now create the new partition. This process may take some time depending on the size of the partition. Once the process is complete, you'll receive a notification that the operation was successful. The partition has now been created. If you decide to delete the partition, here is how you can do it in ESUS Partition Master. Using ESUS Partition Master to delete a partition in Windows is a straightforward process. In the main window, you'll see a list of all your drives. Select the partition you want to delete. In the toolbar at the top, find and click on the Delete button. Alternatively, you can right-click on the selected partition and choose Delete. The partition has now been deleted. You can now allocate the space to another partition. Drag the slider to adjust the partition size on the C drive. The unallocated space has now been added to the C drive. The ESUS Partition Master has other features like Disk Clone. Disk Clone feature that allows you to create an exact copy of one disk to another. This can be incredibly useful for tasks like upgrading to a larger disk, migrating to an SSD, or creating a backup of your system. That's it for today's tutorial on creating a partition in Windows 11. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing for more helpful tutorials. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.